want to go back to Alicia Nieves and more of Diddy's reaction in court, Alicia, and also his family, who was on an elevator with our producer at the time. They were talking about having a huge 4th of July party this weekend and questioning whether or not Diddy would be there. I think safe to say we've got some critical steps before that were to happen, if at all.
Yeah, I mean, the first critical step, obviously, bail. But I think to your point and Marcus's point a moment ago, this entire trial, it's been really emotional from the very first day when Cassie Ventura, took the stand and testified for 4 days up until the moment the verdict was reached. I'll bring you inside the courtroom and the emotions that our producers experienced and saw, when this verdict actually came down. Now, the minute it came down, that first verdict charge was delivered, not guilty for RICO, there was an audible gasp inside that main courtroom, in the overflow courtroom, and there's several of them with hundreds of people, both reporters and just the general public. There were screams. One person even kind of dropping to their knees during the not guilty verdict when it came to sex trafficking, and the guilty verdict when it came to the transportation of sex workers. But then afterwards, when the judge was thanking the jury for their hard work, 6 weeks of doing this job, obviously unpaid for their civic duty, Sean Diddy Combs himself was mouthing thank you over and over and over to the jury. He then turned around to his family, put his prayer hands up and said, "It's going to be okay." That is when his family left the courtroom and got into an elevator where our producers were also getting in that very same elevator. His 2 children, at least 2 of them, 6 of them were in court today, Christian Combs and Justin Combs. They were literally jumping up and down. Another reporter in that elevator asked them how they felt, and they said they were overjoyed. They began talking about this 4th of July party in Miami and talking about their father, Sean Diddy Combs, being at that party. To your point there a moment ago, there is a big step in the way of that actually becoming a reality. That is bail. We expect, the judge said, that he is going to deliver a decision on bail by the end of today. Lawyers for both sides, the prosecution and the defense, are going to deliver arguments on whether Diddy should or should not be given bail. But at the crux of that argument, at least in the first part of this trial before the verdict came in, was the concern that Diddy would tamper with witnesses. That is no longer a concern now, and so there's likely going to be a chance that prosecutors argue he could be a flight risk. Defenses are obviously going to say that's not going to be the case. They'd probably give up his passport. But there is a chance that Sean Diddy Combs could get bail and he could join his children on that 4th of July party. But again, a big step in the way that is going to be the decision of bail. That will happen, according to the judge, by the end of the day. Marni?
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.